folks, my name is Scott Fischer, and today I'm going to walk you through one of my latest paintings for Valve software called Kanna. This is a character card for the Artifact game. Verse. Alright, this is my initial Alchemy breakdown. I hit the sketch pretty early. Didn't take a lot of extra thumbnailing, but even that background element winds up being incorporated into the piece as we go through those weird crackly mountains. This is all Photoshop, and all I'm doing is cleaning it up. I was pretty happy with this, but Valve decided they wanted her a little bit more confrontational as a character, so we went up with the head and moved the arm up. With that done, I printed that out to scale, and I transferred it through onto my watercolor paper, which we see here. So this is just a light pencil drawing on watercolor paper. Now that the drawing is transferred, I'm able to glue it down. I hinge tape it on one side. I put it on birch plywood about 1/8 of an inch thick. I use acid-free glue, and then we get it down. A little bit of the glue got on the surface, and I love texture, so I thought that could be cool. I added more. I thought I might act as a resist later. This is the FW acrylic ink slowly dripping down. You can see I'm always thinking in gradients. This goes from a warm red to a cool red as you travel up to the shoulder. Also, when I'm working in, oh, well, this is fun. This is coffee. Like, literally, I was drinking coffee, and I'm like, I need to have fun with this thing. So I just started going crazy and just slapping coffee all over this thing. Sort of a dizzying bit of video, but that's kind of how frantic it was. I was literally not even in my studio. I was just drinking a cup of coffee. I was like, all right, I got to get on this, and I just went crazy with that. There you go. There's coffee sitting on the surface. And this kind of shows you what it looked like with that coffee stain and me going a little bit darker. My general thing when using water media is I actually fill in a middle value first for everything. So the cape has a middle value, the arm wraps have a middle value, the skin's going to have a middle value, and I can then take that lighter and darker. Elements like hands and faces, I like to clear up the drawing in something pretty dark. So when I go over it with another layer, I'll still be able to see my drawing through the paint. And that's what we're doing here in the hand and in the face. This piece is going to be particularly a challenge because her skin has to be so dark that you almost can't see any features. And that's actually more challenging for me than painting a face where you see planes and noses and all that kind of stuff, because I can't rely on the structure of it to pull the piece off. So with that drawing established, I went ahead and threw down a cool blue. Even though she's going to be very black in the actual final art, I wanted an underlying coat of blue. She's got these blue eyes, and so now I'm just kind of filling in the whole shape of the face, the entire egg. I'm thinking about a gradient. She gets darker as you get to the edges of her cheek. I worked a little bit of structure in there with the nose and the lips and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm kind of looking at the whole outer surface again, enjoying my coffee spatters. Probably still smelled like coffee. I'm a structure guy, so you see even the hand had a middle value put in, and then I went one layer darker and indicated some planes. Working on the hair and the horns. Same approach, same thing happens. I fill it in, I let the watercolor kind of sit in the nooks and crannies and get that nice texture, which is what it's all about. It's actually FW acrylic ink, not watercolor, but same effect. And I try to let the paper do its job. I don't want to bury it. I just don't want to feather this and render it out. I really want you to see the tooth of it. And it's just a continual evolution of going darker at the shoulder with the cape. I wanted everything to kind of have a travel and a transition to it. Trying to decide what to do with the wraps. Haven't quite made up my mind there, value-wise. But darker with the skin once again, because I know she needs to be like dark, like the abyss dark. The feet, I went ahead and drew those in. Indicated the nails pretty lightly because I was going to wash over them, and I wanted the nails to still pop as I continued to wash over them. But you see, even the leggings have a bit of a transition in how many holes are between them in the wraps, and you get down to the ankles and it's much more solid. Same thing with the arm. It's a gradient, right? Those little triangular shapes get tighter and tighter as you travel down the arm. These are me showing my brush strokes and showing how I use the splayed out strokes to kind of drag marks over it. And you can do all these great things with the hair and flow and all of this stuff if you do it that way. Finally getting the value down for the wraps. Brought out a sponge and a little mask I use. It's a piece of stainless steel. There's a Dixie cup full of FW ink that I'm just splattering around and trying to be a little bit more aggressive and less timid with my mark making. But I still want that texture to bleed through, so I don't want to bury it all. But this shows you the lovely abstraction that I had going on. And that's all I took value-wise, photo-wise, and then this is the final art, the first pass on the final art, but it turns out her skin wasn't dark enough, so Valve suggested I go even darker with it, which I was glad to do, and that's the original art, and this is the final art. And there you go, guys. Alright, I super appreciate you sticking with me and checking out this video. And definitely check out the game. It's made by Richard Garfield, the inventor of Magic the Gathering. And, you know, Valve doesn't do anything wrong. So, dude, it's a pretty awesome arrangement, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Alright, thanks.